Showdown in Washington. The Supreme Court hears a case that could overturn Roe versus Wade. A gas explosion rips through the second largest city in Mexico, killing more than 100 people. And the money crunch, how you might save hundreds of dollars on property taxes. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather reporting. The Supreme Court of the United States heard arguments today in one of the most politically and emotionally charged abortion cases in years. At issue is a Pennsylvania law that makes it more difficult for a woman to get an abortion. The court could use this case to reverse its landmark 1973 ruling that made abortion legal nationwide. Correspondent Bruce Morton begins our coverage.
Abortion is murder! Abortion is murder!
Inside, the argument was quieter, focused more on the specific restrictions in the Pennsylvania law. Should a wife have to tell her husband she's getting an abortion? In this Pennsylvania abortion clinic, Anita, not her name, says that could be trouble.
To notify him that I'm pregnant would be, still could be end up in violence.
Nancy, not her name either, feels the issue is more fundamental, a basic right at stake.
I feel it's unconstitutional when they've allowed abortion to be legal, and then all of a sudden to say, no, let's change that.
And that's the position abortion rights lawyer Catherine Colbert argued in court. Allow these Pennsylvania restrictions, a waiting period, a lecture about negative consequences of abortion, and Roe versus Wade, the decision which legalized abortion, is dead.
The minute that the Supreme Court changes that standard, the minute the Supreme Court gives the green light for states to enact more onerous restrictions, you've overruled Roe.
Pennsylvania argued, overturn Roe if you want, but you don't need to. These restrictions are mild and can be approved without touching Roe.
The woman's right to abortion is not unlimited. It is not absolute. The state can pass reasonable regulations. That's what Roe says.
U.S. Solicitor General Kenneth Starr said the states could go much further to protect the unborn. Justice Souter, a complete ban on abortions? Starr, a complete ban with an exception to protect the mother's life would be okay.
The guessing isn't whether the Supreme Court will uphold Pennsylvania, but whether it will go ahead and overturn Roe as well. And the abortion rights forces seem to have decided their best chance to keep abortion legal is at the ballot box, not here.
This is a decision that will be made by the American people at the ballot box, and we think that this is merely one stop in what probably will be decided ultimately by the voters in November.
You have no right to torture an infant!
The court's decision is expected toward the end of its term, late June or early July. Bruce Morton, CBS News at the Supreme Court.
I'm Giselle Fernandez in Buffalo, New York, where abortion protests escalated today as the High Court began its hearings.
Down on your knees! Down on your knees!
Anti-abortionists charged police barricades in front of a suburban abortion clinic.
This clinic is open!
An army of police made almost 200 arrests, binding the protesters' arms with plastic handcuffs. The activists lay limp in the streets, forcing the police to carry them to waiting buses. Some required more force than others. Most of those arrested are being charged with disorderly conduct. But in spite of all the activity here on the outside, inside, clinic directors say they're still seeing patients and performing abortions. Pro-choice activists successfully escorted women with appointments into the clinic, despite the pleas of abortion foes.
Your baby loves you, don't kill it!
The protest did not stop women from making appointments, but one clinic director said it was very stressful to one woman who had an abortion.
She was very frightened and very afraid, and she said this was a difficult enough decision to make, and no one should have to go through this.
Operation Rescue's anti-abortionists vow to keep the pressure on.
I am here to make a statement about the integrity and the value of every human life, regardless of its condition of dependency.
But pro-choicers say keeping the clinics open sends another message.
It's a tremendous victory and a very strong message to the rest of the country and to the Supreme Court and to the President that we are determined not to be pushed any further back.
Both sides here hope their demonstrations, expected to continue for 2 weeks, leave a lasting impression in the minds of the High Court justices. Giselle Fernandez, CBS News, Buffalo, New York.
A series of underground explosions rocked the Mexican city of Guadalajara today with the destructive force of an earthquake. The Mexican government says at least 100 people were killed and hundreds more injured as the explosions flattened scores of buildings and ripped streets wide open. The cause of the explosions in Guadalajara, not known. The city's fire chief blamed them on gasoline leaking into the sewer system, but the Mexican National Oil Company said the disaster was caused by a chemical leak from a privately owned factory. Residents of Guadalajara, Mexico's second largest city, had been complaining for days of sickening smells from underground. At the Paris, California airport 60 miles east of Los Angeles, a twin-engine aircraft crashed today on takeoff. It was carrying members of a skydiving club. Of the 22 people on board, 16 were killed, 6 injured. Some witnesses say the plane appeared to have an engine problem before it crashed. After 2 weeks of deliberations, a verdict today in a criminal trial involving charges of repeated sexual abuse of children at a daycare center. The case stirred debate and emotion far beyond the North Carolina community that lived through it. Correspondent Doug Tennell reports what the jury said.
Guilty of crime against nature. Is this your verdict?
Robert Kelly listened impassively as a court clerk reeled off the verdicts for sexually abusing 12 children at his daycare center.
Guilty of first-degree sexual offense, guilty of taking indecent liberties with a child, and guilty of crime against nature.
Guilty on 99 out of 100 counts. In a case that first came to light in 1989, prosecutors said that as many as 90 children were molested at the Little Rascals Daycare Center. Kelly had faced 248 charges when his trial began. Parents of some of Kelly's victims sobbed nonstop for the 35 minutes it took to finish reading the verdict. It was a crime that touched nearly every family in the little town of Edenton, North Carolina. 6 other adults, including Kelly's wife Betsy, are to be tried for ongoing sexual abuse at the center. On the witness stand, 5- and 6-year-olds told of being forced to have oral sex and described how Kelly had raped and sodomized them. Prosecutors presented some medical evidence, but experts were divided on its significance. Throughout it all, Robert Kelly denied any wrongdoing.
I have never touched a child sexually, Mr. Martin. Never.
Kelly now faces 40 mandatory life sentences and up to 590 years in prison. It was the longest and most expensive trial in North Carolina history. Robert Kelly is to be sentenced tomorrow. Doug Tennell, CBS News, Miami.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, death and despair in a city that was once host to the Winter Olympics. And a tough teaching job. It takes a firm hand and a big heart.
Don't put your dreams on hold. Announcing a very special Accord lease program at participating Honda dealers.
Tylenol users discover a powerful name in aspirin-free pain relief.
It took away my headache. Aspirin-free Anacin worked as well as Tylenol.
Like Tylenol, aspirin-free Anacin is 100% aspirin-free acetaminophen, so it's gentle on your stomach.
Now I have a choice.
People loved the old type of granola, but didn't know it was loaded with fat. Introducing new Kellogg's low-fat granola. Lots of delicious whole grains, almonds, and raisins, but only half the fat of leading granolas. New Kellogg's low-fat granola. Great taste, half the fat.
If you want the granola that's low in fat, naturally you'd choose this one, new Kellogg's low-fat granola. But if you want the one that was overwhelmingly preferred in taste tests, you'd still pick this one.
Kellogg's low-fat granola. Better taste, half the fat.
Fighting escalated today in the Republic of Bosnia. It's the latest battleground, latest killing ground, as Serbians, backed by the former Yugoslav army, try to seize as much as they can of what used to be Yugoslavia. The Serbians now occupy most of Bosnia, threatening its very existence as a newly independent state. Tom Fenton has our report.
Serb and Muslim fighters were slugging it out street to street, house to house. They were using every weapon they had. The fiercest fighting raged around a hotel housing UN observers and journalists. Efforts to arrange a ceasefire were simply ignored.
They seem to be out of control, and we really can't control any situation at the moment, despite appeals to both sides.
Casualties were heavy. One of the wounded was Viz News cameraman Rob Cillier, who was taking these pictures when he was shot. Cillier was evacuated with a flesh wound in the arm. Incoming fire finally forced BBC correspondent Martin Bell to cut short his live report to London.
And the three communities working together in the future as they have done in the past. Excuse me.
The Serbs are moving in on the center of Sarajevo. There is speculation they plan to annex it. This was once an attractive modern city, host for the 1984 Winter Olympics. Now it is being destroyed like the rest of former Yugoslavia. As evidence of Serbian aggression grows, the United States is blaming them for the violence, and there are threats of Western sanctions against Serbia if the fighting does not stop. Tom Fenton, CBS News, London.
In Australia, a jockey survived a harrowing spill. Simon Mills fell when his horse stumbled over a fence, but his foot stuck in the stirrup and he was dragged along.
On there, oh, he's still with that horse. He got dragged over the next fence, that rider.
The 23-year-old jockey escaped with a broken arm, multiple bruises, and several missing teeth. Stay with us now for more CBS News, including a special report, The Money Crunch. Tonight, how your tax headaches and Ray Brady's home remedies may save you money.
Knock out the flea and tick problem for good. Hit him with the old 1-2 combination punch from Hearts. Get rid of them with the Hearts 2-in-1 Rid Flea Shampoo. Those tough bubbles knock out fleas and ticks while leaving Rocky looking and smelling like a champ. Follow through with the Hearts 2-in-1 Collar. It stops fleas and ticks dead for up to 5 months, even if it gets wet. Hearts 2-in-1 Rid Flea Shampoo and a Hearts 2-in-1 Collar. That's the Hearts 1-2 punch. It's murder on fleas and ticks. Hearts, everything good for your pet.
With a luxury car like the new J30 from Infiniti, you may be expected to drive with a certain decorum in public. What you do behind closed doors, however, is your own business. The new Infiniti J30 makes you want to take up driving again, doesn't it?
How many times I told my dad to see a doctor. He was stubborn. But the pain in his stomach just wouldn't go away. He had to go. You should have seen the relief on his face when the doctor said Mylanta. He said it was indigestion, and his kind of indigestion needed strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
From an Asian warlord's hideout to the streets of your neighborhood, 48 Hours tracks down the new heroin connection. Tonight at 10, 9 Central.
David Duke today dropped out of the race for the Republican presidential nomination. The former Ku Klux Klan leader got few votes in any primaries. Duke said he still plans to go to the GOP convention and might eventually endorse President Bush. The government did some figuring today. It added up all our earnings last year, divided that by the population, and came up with an average income, $19,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. That's up a bit, but not as much as the cost of living. The first time inflation beat us in 9 years. Now, if the tax man is beating you too, you don't have to take it. Ray Brady shows you tonight how to fight back in his report on the money crunch, making it in America.
Social Security tax will go up substantially.
Still got those April 15th tax blues? Cheer up. Think about John and Karen Chrissy. They got their taxes cut, their property taxes. And we're talking major money here.
What did you used to pay in taxes and what do you pay now?
$6,630 and now $4,900 and change.
You heard right. Property taxes on the Chrissy home were $6,630. Now they're just over $4,900.
I'm saving $1,600 a year.
Experts say that half of all homeowners could be paying too much in taxes without knowing it. That's partly because real estate values have dropped in many areas, but housing assessments and taxes have tended to stay up.
Block 565, Lot 6.
Could your taxes be too high? Start at your local tax assessor's office.
Make sure your property's described correctly in the government files. Sometimes there's an extra bedroom or bathroom listed. And if you can take that out, obviously your assessment will go down.
Next, the important stuff. Check the formula used to assess your home, just how they arrive at its value. People often find the assessments out of line with the true market value of the house. Then play house detective. How are similar houses in your neighborhood appraised? The assessor's office can tell you. And talk to local realtors. Some homeowners use a lawyer or other specialist to handle their reassessment, but you can get this do-it-yourself booklet from the nonprofit National Taxpayers Union in Washington, D.C. The cost is just $2. Steve Matzel went for a reassessment when he discovered a neighbor with a similar house was paying about $2,000 less in taxes. Matzel challenged his assessment. Result? Taxes down from $7,100 a year to $5,500. His advice to homeowners?
Go for it. And that's what we did. We tried and we won. And it feels good to win.
The satisfaction can involve more than just money.
I feel as though finally the citizen did win out. Hold on.
So check those taxes. You might be a winner too. Ray Brady, CBS News, The Money Crunch.
Well, green is the color of money. It's also the color of the day, Earth's Day. Across the country, it was easy being green. Activities ranged from kids cleaning up and recycling at an Air Force base in Missouri to turning garbage into art in Minnesota to using llamas to clean up highway debris in South Dakota. Earth Day, 1992. Coming up next here on the CBS Evening News, the trial of a man who may be the world's deadliest serial killer.
I'd like to talk to you about an invisible problem, the invisible bacteria that cause nasty denture odor. Fortunately, antibacterial Effident not only cleans the stains you can see, it kills the odor-causing bacteria you can't for clean, fresh dentures. So while the problem may be invisible, the solution is clearly evident. Darling, we're on TV.
Antibacterial Effident cleans what you can see and what you can't.
Fingerman on location for the one and only Ziploc. Ooh, freezer burn. That's a chilling thought. To protect your food, there is nothing like Ziploc brand freezer bags. Ziploc has a gripper zipper, the only bag with tough, tiny teeth. You can feel it gripping, so you know freshness is locked in, freezer burn's locked out. That's a good feeling you only get from Ziploc. I gotta get some gloves. For fresh food, there's only one Ziploc.
They say our personality traits are formed at an early age. Presenting the 3.1-liter V6 Rodeo from Isuzu. The way we see it, it's never too late to have a happy childhood.
You can stop smoking. You can undo the damage. We'll show you how tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
This is Lenin's birthday, once a national holiday in Russia, now a day for painful reflection on the past. The dark side of the Soviet era, hidden for so long, is finally coming into view. As correspondent Anthony Mason reports, the news in Russia today was dominated by the trial of a former Communist Party member, now a confessed serial killer.
He is 56 years old, a father, a former school teacher. But Andrei Chikatilo is now on trial in the southern Russian city of Rostov-on-Don, accused of being one of the most vicious serial killers of modern times. "You bastard," screams the mother of one of his victims. "What have you done to our children?" As each horror was read aloud, another relative relived the grief. For 12 years, this inconspicuous man, carrying a brown satchel, haunted Rostov's bus and railway stations, searching out young women and children to lure into secluded areas where he would rape, strangle, or stab his victims and mutilate their remains. In 1 month alone, 8 bodies were found. His youngest victim was only 8 years old, his oldest 32. In all, Chikatilo reportedly has confessed to 55 killings, and police believe there may well have been more. The evidence fills 222 casebooks. It took 4 days just to read out all the charges. Nona and Alec Foman listened for the name of their son. 11-year-old Ivan coaxed down to the riverbanks by Chikatilo, where passing trains could muffle a cry for help. They came from there, his father says. He killed him here. Ivan would always help people, his mother remembers. I warned him not to do that. Detective Viktor Burakov, who tracked the killer from his first crime, knew he would find an ordinary-looking man. To take so many victims and have no witnesses, he says, he had to seem ordinary. Twice during the 12-year search, police actually detained Chikatilo, only to release him for lack of evidence. In a rambling speech to the court, Chikatilo called himself a mistake of nature, a mad beast. The man who convinced dozens to walk with him to their deaths appears to have little chance of convincing the court that he should not be led to his own. Anthony Mason, CBS News, Rostov-on-Don.
All across America, more people repurchase Kenmore appliances than any other brand. In fact, over 1 out of 2 homes in the country count on Kenmore. And right now at Sears Brand Central, count on this large capacity 6-cycle Kenmore washer. It's just $288, matching dryer only $238. And now get this huge 21 cubic foot Kenmore top mount refrigerator with adjustable shelves for just $599.99. Only at the store you trust.
Is this seat taken?
No, please.
So that's what you're eating? Too bad.
This is a whole grain cereal.
Yes, with sugar and preservatives.
Oh, and I suppose that you're Kellogg.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, it's made with pure whole grain.
Oh, really?
It's the only whole grain cereal without sugar or preservatives added.
The only one? I didn't know.
I know.
So what else should I know?
You have milk on your chin?
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, as good as whole grain gets.
Naphtha can be replaced with a non-flammable solvent?
In 1929, she was the only woman and the only PhD chemist in the physics lab. But over the years, she was responsible for 29 different patents.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Stacer.
Dr. Stacer created a new career path for women and for her company. The same company that leads the nation in patents granted to women over the last decade. We think Dr. Stacer would be pleased.
Dow lets you do great things.
For too many children in our country, life is a daily battle for survival. Kids in the inner cities face danger on the way to school, and there's no guarantee they'll be safe once they get there. So how can anyone learn in an environment like that? Bob McNamara shows you how some do in tonight's Eye on America.
East Oakland. We have a shooting, and then a retaliation for that shooting, and then a retaliation for that shooting.
There's no answer.
Police call it the kill zone. It just goes on. These kids call it home. Kids in this neighborhood are fighting an uphill battle. They got a lot of things going against them.
They all learn early the odds are against them. Some of them learn there's a way out.
Webster is in a tough neighborhood, but Webster is not tough.
At Webster Academy, 900 grade school students are taught the real basics: reading, writing, and right from wrong.
How did the fight start?
He got up and hit me.
You can go back outside. We're going to call your parent and you're going home. Tell her what you did. Tell her now.
Principal here for 5 years, Willie Hamilton spends every day doling out discipline
I like to hug you.
and love.
I worry about them. Hi, buddy. We try to minimize the environment outside of the school to make youngsters feel secure here and know that they're loved here.
You didn't even know what she was saying, and you went up and smacked her?
She be talking about us behind our back.
Okay. A lot of love has to go into what we're doing. A lot of patience, a lot of over and beyond what we went to college to get our degrees for. And then can we get a hug? Okay. All right, now we're all friends again?
Yes.
For many inner-city kids, school means a few hours of security. But even here, they're not really safe from the angry divisions of the world outside. Sometimes students who do well in school learn a hard lesson, that academic success can mean social failure.
To live in this area, you have to be able to go through a lot.
6th grade honor student Shaquila Williams dreams of becoming a writer.
I want to be anything that to stop me from being what I see on the street.
But success in inner-city schools can be bittersweet. Along with congratulations, sometimes come accusations that bright black students don't fit in.
They want you to be like them. They might say you think you're white. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
They say, like, you think you're so smart, and I do, and people who are slower than I am, they get upset about that. They say you sold out.
Some of the students begin to think that if you're going to be a great student, then you must be trying to act like those white kids. It's unfortunate that somehow this society has allowed that kind of idea to perpetuate itself.
They just try to put me down.
So how does that make you feel?
It doesn't really affect me.
It doesn't?
Sometimes.
They've been hurt because their peers have tossed them aside. They have been rejected.
You want to share these? We have to be, first of all, role models, where they can see, I made it, you can make it.
You think you can be anything you want to be?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Because if I try real hard, I can.
Living in America.
Right now, in here,
We have to have a celebration.
they are learning they can do anything.
Ain't no drugs in that car.
But outside, life teaches hard lessons. Here, where public problems have public schools surrounded, the hardest lesson to learn may be how to hope. In Oakland, Bob McNamara for Eye on America.
We all know that one of the killers of hope in our schools is drugs. With that in mind, I remind you of a special program on this CBS station tonight, 48 Hours. 48 Hours tonight documents a dramatic increase in the flow of heroin into the United States, much of it coming from the Far East and West Africa. Will heroin be the drug plague of the 1990s? Join us on this station for 48 Hours, The Heroin Connection, tonight at 10 o'clock, 9 Central Time. It's just before your late local news. Dan Rather. I'll see you then.
Experience CBS News.
When you turn on the tap, you don't expect poisoned water from leaking fuel storage tanks. You don't expect it, but thousands of you could be getting it. The story on the CBS Evening News tomorrow.
The people of CBS News. Dan Rather,
Connie Chung,
Mike Wallace,
Paula Zahn,
Ed Bradley,
Leslie Stahl,
Harry Smith,
Morley Safer,
Bob Schieffer,
and Charles Kuralt. Experience
CBS News.
This is CBS.